Yuka Royer is here in studio. Yuka, you are starting off with global markets having been roiled by the rapid rise of a Chinese rival to ChatGPT. What's that all about?
Well, this is called DeepSeek, and it shocked the world last week with its stunning capability and the fact that it cost less than $6 million to develop with less advanced computer chips, according to its developer. Morgan Nair explains.
A Chinese AI chatbot that's slated to be as good as ChatGPT has been developed with just a fraction of the money that its rivals have poured in, and not even powered by the most advanced chips.
They don't necessarily have the tens of billions of dollars that some of these companies in the US have. And they are using a slightly different technique, which is apparently, based on the data so far, a lot more energy efficient and efficient in terms of the chips that it might take as well. They were able to really do this on what some people would call a shoestring budget.
DeepSeek is an AI startup that's just over a year old and launched its latest version last week. The company has boasted a performance which is comparable to one of OpenAI's latest models when used for tasks such as math, coding and natural language reasoning. The AI model was developed for around $6 million according to its researchers, a far cry from the billions US companies like OpenAI have spent. In the face of a US ban on exports of advanced chip technology to China, developers have collaborated more with each other, shared their work and experimented with new approaches to the technology. One analyst says the technology is becoming cheaper and better.
I think we're in a place where there's a larger and larger range of tools for people to choose from, but DeepSeek seemingly definitely is now in the game and people will use it, but not for everything.
As of Monday, it's overtaken ChatGPT as the most downloaded free app in the US. This surge in popularity was felt as it was hit by a series of outages.
Well, the release of DeepSeek's R1 wiped around $1 trillion from the US stock market as tech shares broadly nosedived. US chip designer Nvidia lost around $600 billion in its market value in a single trading day. Other AI and tech-related stocks also tumbled. The tech share sell-off hit the Nasdaq hard. The index ended the day down 3%.
Another company in the spotlight tonight, Yuka, it's Coca-Cola.
Yeah, the soft drink maker announced a massive recall of Coke, Sprite and other beverages after detecting high levels of chlorate, a substance used to disinfect water. In high doses, it poses health risks. The company said cans and glass bottles containing elevated levels of the substance were distributed in Belgium, the Netherlands, Britain, Germany, France and Luxembourg since November. But the company's French branch said analysis by independent experts concluded that the probability of an associated risk was very, very low, according to AFP.
Finally, from you then, Yuka, a major energy summit kicked off in Tanzania to try and deliver power to hundreds of millions of people who don't have any access to electricity.
Well, the two-day summit is part of a plan dubbed Mission 300, launched by the World Bank and the African Development Bank last year. The aim is to bring affordable power to 300 million more people by 2030. More than 730 million people around the world lack access to electricity, most of them in sub-Saharan Africa. Despite efforts to address this, the number of people without electricity has actually increased in recent years as population growth has been faster than power grid expansions. Earlier, I spoke with Sarah Malm, Executive Director at GOGLA, about the importance of off-grid solar power in narrowing the electricity access gap.
A large majority of those who are not reached with energy access are in rural and hard-to-reach areas. To get the grid extension there takes years, and off-grid solar solutions and more broadly distributed renewable energy is really the best solution to reach people who are harder to reach. So off-grid solar is positioned to reach about 45 to 50% of this 300 million that is in the Mission 300 goals. And it's really important to recognize how important off-grid is in these energy planning that national governments are doing. In a traditional utility, the government is taking all the risk. It's going through the utility. In off-grid solar, it's private companies who are taking the risk. They are the ones that are selling into these communities the products and services that largely provide first-time energy access. So support to private companies and public-private partnerships are key to success for deploying these really life-changing first-time energy access products and services to people and communities.